Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by today's title, today's video is going to be everything wrong with K-pop stans. I haven't been a K-pop fan for too long. I have been a part of stan Twitter for a while though, like since I was maybe 12, 13, and for reference I'm 18. And I can say with certainty that K-pop Twitter is like stan Twitter except like 5 times worse. Attack me for that if you want, but that's my opinion. But I just wanted to make this video today to address all of the problems in K-pop Twitter, so let's just get into it. Point 1. Opinions do not exist, and you either love something or hate something, and there's no in between. A lot of people on stan Twitter fail to understand constructive criticism, or they believe that constructive criticism is on the same level as hate. The concept of critiquing a group, acknowledging their areas for improvement in their faves, and still loving them really doesn't exist on K-pop Twitter at all. You either love something or you hate something, and you're considered an anti if you give even an ounce of criticism towards a group. For example, an ARMY said a while back that they didn't like the song Euphoria. If you don't know, that's Jungkook's solo song, and he tends to have the most solo stans, I believe. And they were basically blacklisted on Twitter for this opinion, like they were forced to deactivate, basically. But there's honestly no middle ground on K-pop Twitter, and because people can't voice their opinions without getting so much hate for it, like trends like unpopular K-pop opinions start to arise because people don't feel comfortable voicing their quote-unquote controversial opinions without getting backlash for it. Point 2. People are more focused on exposing people rather than educating them. People on K-pop Twitter are so excited to get their first, big tweet that they'll make expose threads about a mutual who said or did something semi-problematic instead of just letting them know, like via DMing them or just breaking the mutual. And this is not to excuse genuinely problematic people. There are people on stan Twitter who are genuinely problematic. But a lot of the times people just don't know that something they said or did was problematic, and DMing them and letting them know can actually be really helpful so they don't do it in the future. I feel like there's too many people who have said the wrong thing without knowing, and that they've been blacklisted on Twitter for that instead of just, letting them know what they said or did is wrong. And because of this, cancel culture on Twitter, because it's so rampant, it makes for a very uncomfortable standing experience. Point 3. People are way too attached to their biases/alts. So unfortunately, a lot of people on stan Twitter struggle with mental illness and or have shitty home lives, and hardcore standing groups is a way for some people to escape the sadness in their lives. I know this personally because I used standing different groups, different celebrities as a coping mechanism when I was younger, like 13, 14 years old. But that combined with, the intense fan culture of K-pop leads people to get extremely attached to their idols, and people start to view their faves' accomplishments as their own accomplishments. This idolization of groups and idols leads to my first point. People start viewing any criticism made towards their favorite group or idol as a personal attack. And a lot of K-pop stans really need to learn how to distance themselves from their faves and find a healthy balance between being, a fan of a group and using your alt for therapy. Because at the end of the day, these people don't actually know who you are and you don't actually know them, and it becomes really unhealthy when your well-being depends so much on what your favorite group or idol is doing. Point 4. K-pop stans are spineless when it comes to calling out racism, homophobia, sexism, etc. K-pop Twitter prides itself on being woke and educated and calling out problematic groups or idols, but if said problematic group or idol has a member that you like or a song that you like, it no longer matters that they're problematic. A lot of people's desire to stan a group or idol outweighs their moral compass. Problematic behavior doesn't matter on K-pop Twitter if a group or an idol is pretty, has a likable personality, or makes good music. For example, G-Idol. Point 5. People don't form opinions for themselves. They let stan Twitter form their opinions for them. People on Stan Twitter let their opinions be made by their mutuals, their followers, and people that they follow. No matter how wrong or misinformed a trend is, if a lot of people agree with it, or an account with a lot of followers said it, then so will the rest of Stan Twitter. People on Stan Twitter are so desperate to fit in that they'll recite anything said to them, even if it's garbage. Point 6. The small account, big account dynamic. People place way too much value on what big accounts think. A person's opinion is not more accurate or valid because they have more followers. And people get mad at big accounts when they voice their criticisms of a group or idol because they have a bigger audience. But big accounts are not responsible for what people decide to do with their opinions. Their stands just like small accounts who just happen to have more followers. And big accounts are only as influential as you let them be. If people decide that they want to mindlessly agree with all of their opinions, that's their fault, not the big account's fault. Point 7. A lot of K-pop stans fail to separate K-pop from real life. For example, when EXO met Trump and some armies were saying things like OMG, BTS will never, and this is why BTS outsold, completely ignoring the context. EXO have been the nation's boy group for years, and they've always been the boy group to represent K-pop when it comes to, political matters. And the situation with Trump was no different. People made jokes about EXO supporting Trump's actions in America, like people being detained at the border, people being put in cages, the Muslim ban, etc. Some armies are laughing over serious issues in America for the sake of pushing the quote-unquote BTS outsold agenda. It's disgusting and so immature. And I'm an army, just so you know, and I know not all armies were doing it, but there was a surprising amount of people I saw on my teal that thought it was okay to joke about for the sake of, proving that BTS is the better boy group or whatever, and to, just make fun of EXO. And there are many other incidents similar to this that have happened on K-pop Twitter, so it's not just armies. But a large majority of K-pop Twitter doesn't understand that there are certain situations where it's not appropriate to bring in K-pop. Not to be harsh, but a lot of y'all really need to get off Stan Twitter for a month and go experience the real world and realize how stupid and insensitive some of the shit you say on Twitter is over a damn K-pop group. Like, K-pop is not a lifestyle, it's a hobby. And believe it or not, it's supposed to be enjoyable and not stressful or nerve-wracking. And some of you genuinely need a reality check because your bias is not your friend or your significant other, and you don't really know them. And you really need to learn how to have a healthy standing experience, which means, not attacking people over the littlest things, like on Twitter. Like, I have never seen a group of people like so stupid but so set on convincing themselves that they're right. And I know that sounds really mean and I'm probably gonna get hate for that, but Stan Twitter is such a toxic place, and I find myself just wanting to deactivate like all of my accounts dedicated to K-pop sometimes because I get like shit on for like the littlest things. But yeah, I didn't mean to go on that like little tangent or whatever. But yeah, that's all for this video. Comment below your opinions, let me know what you thought. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on my notifications, whatever you want to do, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.